It's cool and good to make teenagers famous because they always grow up well-adjusted. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Cannata.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens. You know, Jeff, I think we can agree that the worst thing about spiders is that they are wasteful.
Yeah, the spider waste.
Yeah.
It's really the problem. When I think of spiders and all the issues that I have with them, It is the pollution, the rampant littering.
Yeah. Well,
that the spiders do.
They're a single-use product, Jeff.
The spiders themselves.
The spiders
I thought
themselves.
you were referring to the fact that they had 8 arms and therefore 8 more ways to litter on the ground. Is that not? Or 7, or I guess 6 more would be the correct math.
That's very cool in like a 1930s cartoon sort of way. I love what you're picturing. Just like 2 of the legs have maybe boots on them.
Exactly.
And then the other 6 legs are being used to like drink out of mugs and smoke and throw litter on the ground.
It's got like 3 popsicles and he just throws the sticks when he's done.
Yes,
you know?
I love what you're thinking of right now. And that, honestly, that is pretty wasteful if they're doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just come out and say it. They shouldn't be.
Yeah.
If that's what...
honestly, that's what I love about Spider-Man is he does whatever a spider can.
But not whatever a spider does.
Exactly. He has limits.
He has limits. He could do what a spider can.
But not always, you know?
Right. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Exactly.
And that's what Uncle Ben said to him.
Yes.
Uncle Ben said, listen, if you're ever in the position where you can do whatever a spider can, think about whether a spider should. That was Cliff Robertson, and then he died. Yeah.
Yeah, that iconic moment that always applies. Yeah.
It was really beautiful. No, spiders, listen. You use a spider once, and then it's done. It's through. It's dead. You can't. Spider isn't useful for any. Yeah. What?
What am I using the spider for?
I don't know. The spider does spider stuff, and then it's gone, and then it's like, oh, great, now there's a spider, and it's dead. It's not even doing spider things anymore. It's like just laying here.
This is the lesson of Charlotte's Web. Charlotte makes a web.
Yeah.
That's the end of Charlotte.
Yeah. Like 3 webs. She got a good 3 webs.
Yeah. And there's no more Charlotte.
One of them said some pig. I can't remember what the other one said.
Some pig.
Yeah, it was just like, that's some pig. I remember that. And I was just like, I remember even as a child being like, wait, how did they figure out that was the read of that without the context?
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's some pig. Instead of just like, oh, some pig is right there. If you're looking for some pig, here it is.
Yeah, maybe that's what the spider was just saying. Here's some pig. Here's some pig. I don't know which pig.
I don't know, man. If anybody's lost a pig, here's some pig that I found. But no, the farmer walks up and goes, wow, that's some pig. And it's like, you're really lucky that farmer like reads the same intent into things that you do.
Yeah. We all know that the Charlotte's Web was written before the age of tweets because clearly we would have all learned that you can't get context out of text.
No,
you know,
you need something there to like.
It should have been like some pig winky face.
Yeah, or like even an exclamation point would have sold it. You know what I mean?
Some pig.
Like, wow, some pig. You know, but the spider. Listen, for as like brilliant as this spider is, terrible punctuation.
Yeah, that's true.
We can agree to that. And that's that's another problem with spiders. Terrible punctuation and extremely wasteful. When I'm done with a spider, when a spider dies, it just that thing where it just curls and shrivels up and then it's dead. And you're like,
I've seen that.
Now I got to get rid of a spider. And, I'm not the only person that thought this. I want to talk about a team. I want to talk about a team. Yeah, I want to talk about a science team from Rice University.
All right.
That also looked at all of these wasted spiders lying around.
Just littered, their workspace littered with dead spiders.
Riddled with dead spiders and warnings in ancient runes that weren't there the day before. And they thought, I got to clean this up.
Yeah.
And that's all they thought about it. They didn't look any further into it. But they were looking at all of these dead spiders, and Faye Yap, who works in the bio-inspiration and bio-hybridization research. We've talked about this before. This is like, hey man, if you want to make a really efficient like flying drone, why don't you make it move like a bird? If you want to make a really efficient submarine, why don't you give it a fishtail?
Look to nature for inspiration.
Exactly. What makes a gecko stick to a wall? What makes all of this happen?
Glue.
And the geckos have been hiding it. That's what you never see.
Yeah.
Just them putting the tiny adhesive on their tiny little hands. But if you do ever get the chance to see it, I saw it on TikTok and it is adorable. I'll send you a link. So Faye Yap was looking at one of these dead spiders and said, you know, when spiders die, they do that curl up thing.
Mm-hmm. We've all seen it. And you may wonder yourself, why do they do the curl up thing? What is that about? Well, it's because spiders don't have musculature the way we think of musculature. Right. It's fluid, right?
Yeah.
It's fluid. And so if they die and the fluid drains, everything contracts. Is that correct?
Exactly. Because what they basically have is their muscles work more like a hinge. Mm-hmm. Or a rubber band that pulls and tightens. And so what they do is, I'm going to go with the rubber band. When I said hinge, I meant more like it only goes one way, whereas like we have some muscles some stuff that'll bend in different directions, but they have...
You've seen hinges that go both ways, right? It's not that you've never seen a hinge go two ways before. You can open and close a door.
No, I'm not following. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the rubber band one. We decided to go with rubber band.
Got it, right.
Which only get rubber bands, of course, only stretch one way, and then you have to get new rubber bands. As we all know. So, basically what happens is these spiders, they have these rubber band sort of musculature, and they use fluid to sort of expand and contract their legs. And that's why when they die, fluid disappears. There's nothing pushing the legs out, and so they contract in.
It's like hydraulics, right? That's how hydraulics work.
It is exactly hydraulics. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is exactly.
So we don't even need that whole rubber band thing because we've got hydraulics to describe it.
Well, I think the rubber band thing is important. Because yes, it's because it's hydraulics, but I think of the structure that the hydraulics are, because you can apply hydraulics to different structures. And so I think of like the rubber band, but, the other people may think of other things, but listen. So the
literally
important
it dies
part here, Jeff, rubber band.
Okay. So it literally dies and the tiny rubber bands in their legs contract, right? And so it curls up and you see that all the legs are contracted.
Yes. We should probably just say hydraulics.
These dead rubber band legged freaks.
Yeah.
What? I don't understand. What? They looked at that and went, that's wasteful? That's what we've learned?
Yeah, it's wasteful. Because here's the thing, Jeff. We've looked at spiders before for biomimicry. And we love their sort of hydraulic and the way they work. And we've used that to make sort of grabbing claws and things like that. But here's the thing, Jeff. It's hard to make the grabbing claws as tiny as spiders.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of very small, very intricate electronics, very tiny hydraulics. It's expensive to make a grabbing claw as tiny as some of these really tiny spiders. And so it's like, hey, what if instead of biomimicry, we just take these fucking spiders? What if we turn these dead spiders into robots?
Oh, that's what we're thinking. We use the corpses of spiders and turn them into robots.
Jeff, let me introduce you to a burgeoning new field of science that we like to call necrobiotics.
Necrobiotics.
Jeff.
Oh my God.
It's totally cool. Science has figured out necrobiotics.
Science is homebrewing a D&D class now?
Yeah. It's fun. You can be a necrobiotic in Spelljammer now that Spelljammer's out.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's exciting.
Necrobiotics. Now, Faye Yap and Daniel Preston, who runs this team, they say that they're using necrobiotics or necrobotics as they're using it in a cheeky way. They know what they know what it sounds like when they say necrobotics. They get it.
Okay. They're in on the joke.
They understand. But also, isn't that what the necrobioticists would say? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's all fun and games until they reanimate your corpse.
Yeah. If it was weird, if it was really as weird as it sounds, would we be doing it, is what they say?
Right. But the answer is yes. The answer is always yes to that.
The answer is yes. It's exactly as weird as it sounds, Jeff.
Yes. And they would be doing it.
Because
they are doing it.
They're doing it. Faye just grabbed one of these little spideys. One of these dead spideys.
Oh, these are not small.
I mean,
these are large spideys.
The ones that they're working on with right now are not super small, but they're going to be able to do it with ones that are super small. Jeff, what you do is you take a little dead spidey. Okay.
Oh my God. You're showing me the video right now. Okay, there's the dead spidey.
Okay. Here's the video.
All squished up in a little ball.
Take a dead little spidey, squished up in a little ball. Connect that dead spidey to basically essentially just a pipette. You know? Just like a syringe. Put that syringe on a robot arm.
Oh, that's horrible.
No, Jeff, that's science.
Oh, dear God, it's horrible.
No, and what you do is you put a little bit of...
Oh, it's the world's creepiest grabber claw machine.
Yeah, you put a little
all
bit
the kids would love to play with it.
You put a little bit of fluid back into the spidey, Jeff.
Oh my
and the
God.
legs go out. They do jazz hands. And
yeah, they do.
They do jazz hands. And then when you retract that fluid, they click back in again. Now, Spidey, made of exoskeleton, made of stuff that takes a long time to biodegrade, made of strong stuff, made of stuff that can hold and lift. This is very good. Look at this.
But it doesn't. Oh, why?
And you can pick it up and you can move it right there from A to B. They helpfully labeled it from A to B where they move these things.
Oh, Faye, what are you doing, girl?
I think she's doing the coolest shit.
I mean, okay. So for audio listeners, what I witnessed was a horror show.
No.
Of I don't know. I would guess that is 4-inch, 5-inch long spider.
No, that was a much smaller spider.
3-inch long?
Yeah, it was maybe
a
2
spider.
2 to 3 inch spider. They got to start with the big spiders first before they miniaturize this.
This is like looking at a grabber machine that you might find at a carnival or an arcade, where it has adorable plushies waiting to be plucked out, and all the kids squeeing and hoping that the grabber machine gets it. Except instead of a claw, it is a full. This is not just the arms and legs of a spider. This is a full spider body. It's got a thorax. It's an entire spider. Drop down, the legs fly out, extend out with rage and intensity.
That's editorializing, I think.
A little, but it felt like that. I'm trying to explain what I felt when I saw it.
Sure.
And then they contract around this innocent, helpless little object that needs to be picked up. All of the spider legs wrapping around it.
Yeah.
Why do we need this?
It's very good.
Why do we need this?
Well, here's why we need it. Because, like I'm saying, for building, for fabricating, for creating things on a small scale, anything that where you would need motorized manufacture or movement, making actuated claws, where you can control the pressure, where you can control every little facet of it, and also get that good grip because you've got 8 legs, right?
it's hard to do on a small scale. It's hard to build these electronics. And you said this is a full spider. They don't need to pull apart a spider. The spider dies. They connect it to the armature, and they don't need to do any additional work. This is one of the easiest ways to build one of these machines. When what they do, like you were talking about, it gets connected to a motorized actuator. The actuator can be controlled by a stepper motor, so it makes very, very small adjustments. And then the syringe itself also computer controlled by a stepper motor, so they can eventually make those legs go in and out as much or as little as they want.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I mean, I guess.
And also, you've now made reanimated dead spiders, which is double cool and not problematic for anybody.
No. And I'm sure they're just waiting for all these spiders to die of natural causes. They're just sitting around letting the spiders pass away peacefully in their sleep and then using the bodies for a zero waste kind of environment.
These are all spiders that lived long, healthy lives. They lived, they laughed, they loved. They girl bossed.
Now they grab.
Yeah, and now, they
grasp.
And here
they're huggers.
After their life is over, after they've lived this full, rich life, and they have not been murdered, they have new purpose. This is a bit like when you and I check off the box for organ donation on our ID.
Sure.
When I die, maybe somebody uses my eyes. Maybe somebody uses my heart. I don't know. If I'm a spider, and I know there's no spider heaven, which, listen, if you're a spider and you're listening, there is no spider heaven.
Oh, that's not nice to do to all of our spider listeners.
There's no spider afterlife. This is it. You got to live your life to the fullest, little spideys, with great power.
One shot around this crazy ball we call Earth.
Mm-hmm. But after you're done, perhaps you can find even more use here in Daniel Preston's lab. Now, they say this is not something they've really tried to do before. As we talked about, they usually use soft robotic systems is what they call it. And soft robotics is like non-traditional materials. They use like hydrogels and elastomers. They use, things that move based on chemical reactions and light. We've talked about this stuff before. We're like, maybe it's made of like a little bit of goo. Maybe it's made of some cells. We saw like that single-celled robot that can like push other stem cells together. Mm-hmm. So you don't waste any stem cells. You want to scrape. It's like with stem cells, Jeff. It's like when you're eating a pint of ice cream. Mm-hmm. And you're done, and there's just like that little bit, or like a jar of peanut butter, and there's just that bit around the edges, right? It's in and of itself, those little bits are not a bite, but if you can push them together with a spoon,
right,
they become a full bite.
Or you could push them together with a spider,
or if you wanted to have like a lot of like Rube Goldberg style fun now and really impress the kids, you holding an arm that controls a spider, holding a spoon that you then grab a spoonful of ice cream with. That's fun. And the kids
I'm
love
imagining some sort of future application of this technology where you walk into some sort of factory of some kind with just lines and lines of different sized spider grabber arms picking things up. Let's call it, I don't know, a toy assembly line.
Yeah.
Just assembling, plucking the stuffed teddy bear body and the stuffed teddy bear head, and one spider is grabbing the body, and another smaller spider grabs the head and just plops it right on top as the little spider arms.
Yes.
It's sort of a Tim Burton film that I'm imagining. Little spider arms sewing the teddy bear heads under the teddy bear bodies.
That's a fun way to picture it. Maybe a little Henry Selick action, a little stop motion animation there.
That's right. Some Danny Elfman score playing in the background, bloop, doo, 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 bloop, doo, 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 as the spiders are doing their little machines. Oh, that's just delightful.
It's fun.
And also horrific.
Yeah. It's very good, Jeff. It's not horrific. Look, just to continue on why this is so good and what's so useful about this. smaller spiders can carry heavier loads. So even the smallest spider, Jeff, can carry the heaviest of loads. So basically what happens is they use wolf spiders. Wolf spiders. Of course.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, sure. They're pretty small and they're able to reliably lift more than 130% of their body weight, sometimes more.
And they hunt in packs.
Yeah. When they can have the grippers manipulate a circuit board. They can have it move objects. They can have it lift another spider. That's fun. And
just for the irony of it all, just for the spider to look up and go, this is how I go?
Well, so let me know. Betrayal. My own kind.
Et tu, Spidey?
Well, if you think about here's why spider grabbing spider is very cool. Okay?
Yeah.
Spider grabbing spider is very cool for a number of reasons. Number one, if you were studying some sort of spiders or insects in nature and they were hard to get samples or specimens of, right? Here is a grabber claw that is naturally camouflaged in nature because it is a spider that is that can camouflage. And you can grab these insects, and the insect can weigh up to 130% of what the spider weighs.
Just one spider strolling up to what it thinks is another spider.
Yeah, and you can put lipstick on it and like a little bow, and and you can put like a little.
Hey Mabel, I appreciate you being here. You know, I was a little nervous coming here today because literally every spider that's come up on this ridge has not come back. But if you with you here, Mabel, Mabel, are you all right? You look a little, I don't know, slack in the face. Oh,
just shakes her head, like gives a thumbs up, just moving like a marionette, just motioning to you. It's fine. Come
Closer?
here.
You want me to come closer? Oh, okay, Mabel. You know, your lipstick is a little askew there. Can I? What? Ah!
It's very good. It's
the
very
Bugs
good.
Bunny of spider plucking, I guess. Oh wait, I want to talk about this thing that you have on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Because
I'm going to bring it up. Listen, Jeff, I'm going to bring it up in just a second.
Okay.
But we're going down.
Process.
No, Jeff, we're going down. You're taking me down another path here, so we're going to talk about that path. Okay. So, why spiders? Why are we continuing to use spiders? Number one, they can lift 130 pounds or 130% of their own weight. Number two, these spiders, they can run them through open-close cycles the same way Popular Mechanics or Popular would test, the way they stress test things before they come to your house.
The thing you see at the IKEA where they show opening and closing the drawer like 15,000 times before they sell it to you.
Or like the Xbox thing where they put the controller in a thing that just like shakes it and bangs it around.
Yeah, just pushes the buttons over and over.
Yeah, exactly. So what they do with these spider grippers is they test them and they're like, well, let's see how well these limbs hold up. It's pretty robust. They get 1,000 cycles out of these.
Sweet.
1,000 open-close cycles. Now think about that on an assembly line or out in the field where they need grabbers. And these
grabbers, you don't need to replace your spiders very often.
You don't have to replace the spiders very often, Jeff. Whereas like with tiny claws, because they are such delicate machinery, they have to be replaced all the time. They fall apart.
Just always in the shop.
Yeah. But not a spider. That's nature's grabber claw.
Is there no... I mean, I'm not up to date on my spider death, procedure. Is there no spider decomposition? Is the body not going to decompose and like fall apart just because it's dead?
The spider is biodegradable. So these are not meant to be used forever. You're not putting this in a lab for a year. You're using it short term, but the reason why spiders are also good is because they die and they dry out in these husks. Like a lot of their physiology that we need for these grabbing claws does not biodegrade as fast as the rest of the spider. We're talking about kind of exoskeleton-y stuff, right? The spider is like, look, man, it's good building material. When you put it up against building materials that we would make, microplastics and things like that we would use for this, that spider's going to hold up.
The spider challenge.
That's the spider challenge. Now, when you talk about things that could be used for, they are talking about things like picking and sorting, pick and place tasks. So on an assembly line
like
full of spiders,
food.
like you were talking about, tiny electronics, parts that need to be moved back and forth in very precise ways over and over again.
Separating the good grapes from the bad grapes.
Now, you keep focusing on food. And I do want to let you know that, number one, I think you're onto something. I didn't even think about food. I was just thinking about other things. I was thinking about electronics and toys and household goods. I wasn't even thinking about food. Let's get them touching the food, baby. If they can like move the food around, that's even better. There's so many places we can put these spiders.
Just like a Subway style assembly line food place with all spider grabbers all the way. I mean, that idea sells itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's Spider Hut. It's you know what you call it? Miss Moffats.
Ooh. Along come that spider. Except
it sat down beside her.
Except it don't scare her away.
Not this time. Not at Miss Moffat's.
No, at Miss Moffat's, that's a lucrative business partnership. I do want to show this one figure that you had mentioned earlier. This is the actual step process. This is a 2-step process. This is how easy this is. After I show you this, Jeff, how could you not want to use spiders? Here's what we got. Step 1, euthanize spider. Done.
Yeah. Euthanize spider. And it looks like, based on this diagram, they do that by freezing the spider?
Yeah, they freeze them to death.
Yeah.
That's the easiest. You put a bunch of spiders in one place into one sort of vacuum sealed thing, and then you freeze it.
Right.
They die. They shrivel up. Step 2, you put a little tiny needle in, a little dab of glue, and baby, that's a spider armature. Step 3, profit. You know what I mean?
It says, step 1, euthanize spider. Step 2, insert needle and seal.
Yeah. Step 3,
this is the
necrobotic gripper.
This is the at-home instruction booklet, Anthony. This does not require any scientific tools or methods that you could not find in your own pantry at home.
Jeff, I'm so glad that you came to that conclusion on your own, because have I got a lucrative business proposal for you that I've been working up to this whole time. Buddy, you and me.
Yeah.
We could be in the necrobotic gripper business.
Necrobotic gripper suppliers?
That's what I'm talking about. Listen, sure. Did it take those big brain bean counters at Rice University to figure this out first? Yeah, of course it did. But listen, they've laid the groundwork, and now it's time for the working class Joe like you and me to take this over.
Infinite income potential.
Infinite income potential. What's it cost? A few needles, a couple dots of glue. Buddy.
Yeah.
I got that sitting around right now. I can get you 20 necrobotic grippers before lunch.
You were telling me about all those needles and glue that you had in the closet earlier.
Look.
You didn't have any reason to get rid of them, but you didn't have any reason to keep them either.
Did I perhaps, was I may chance standing on a street corner when a lorry full of needles and glue happened to hit a bump, and they just fell right off the lorry. And there I was. The truck had driven away. There was no way for me to get in touch with them. I'm sitting here with needles and glue. They look perfectly good, Jeff.
Yeah.
What am I, an honest businessman, supposed to do with all these needles and glue that I just came into?
My understanding as well is that the spiders will come to you.
Buddy, 8 times a year into your own mouth. Now, that's an old wives' tale. That's not true. But spiders will come to you.
So I feel like we got the needles and glue. We lure the spiders into our chilling chamber, our freezer, I guess.
Hey, it's their turn to get lured into our web. You know what I mean? That's what I call that is a little poetic justice. The spiders had it coming, Jeff. This is a win-win-win. There are no victims here. I have a freezer.
You do. We all do. We both do.
Okay, well, no
humble
bragging, okay? Like,
we need to become a door-to-door necrobotic gripper salesman?
I mean, there's no salesmanship needed, Jeff. They sell themselves. Here I have
just
the reanimated corpse. Madam, you look like a busy homemaker. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I have a simple tool here that I think is going to revolutionize your entire life.
Oh, well, okay. I was going to put the pot roast on, but I guess I'll give you a minute of my time. I'll hear you out.
Of course. This is the time where nationally we're all putting the pot roast on. The pies are on the windowsill. I understand. Let me show you this. Let me here in my sample case. I have several reanimated spiders. They once were dead, and now they are your servants.
Oh my!
What are you making with that? What are you making up with that pot roast? What do you got? You got some peas? You got some peas going on the side?
Of course.
Let me show you
peas and shucked corn, individual corn kernels.
Let me tell you something about that shucking. It's a shame that it's all done because these little beauties could have shucked it all for you.
You're telling me that your reanimated spider courses will shuck my corn?
They'll shuck anything you got. They're your servants now. Their reanimated corpses obey only your command. I'm telling you, Jeff, how does somebody not buy this?
Something like that's got to cost what? Thousands of dollars?
Madam, I assure you, you are correct in ascertaining their value, and yet their price is nowhere near that level. What if I told you I could give you a necrobotic spider servant today? $4.99.
$4.99. Oh my! Can I have 3?
Of course. Let me tell. Oh, that
one
one's not dead.
My children.
That's a brown recluse. That's not one of mine. Listen, Jeff. I think this is easy street.
My goodness, it does seem. When I was doubtful before, but I saw the 3-step process in creating the gripper.
Now, I haven't told you the best part. We're looking at.
Oh, you haven't.
We're looking at the first version. We're looking at the beta. We're looking at the alpha. We're not looking at what's shipping. What's shipping?
These are not feature complete necro grippers,
buddy. Far from it. Now, you and I and the average person here will know, as they are all well read, that the spider's hydraulic chamber, the prosoma, allows them to control each leg individually.
Oh, snap.
Now, currently, we cannot control each individual leg. We can only do the grabby. But,
right,
buddy, it's just a matter of time.
So we would theoretically be able to get these things to walk and do tricks and flip you off. I don't know. What do you do with a single leg of a spider?
Well, with the single leg of the spider, Jeff, remember that these things are incredibly strong and incredibly precise. Do you have to do some microelectronic work?
Do I? Daily.
Buddy, what if I told you that you could be moving around?
A spider?
You could have one set of legs moving around tiny transistors, while another set of legs is working a soldering iron.
This is amazing.
It's actually very cool.
It really is quite amazing.
It's actually very cool.
This is some Ant-Man shit is what this is. This is like what Ant-Man can do when he commands his army of insects.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Now, I want to say there's something very cool about this that I have not yet mentioned. Now, Rice University obviously supported a lot of this research. It's not super expensive research, right? But the spiders come to you. That's what we've been saying this whole time.
That's my understanding, yeah.
But do you know who also gave a grant to this experiment? NASA.
NASA. Spiders in space.
Necro spiders in space, Jeff.
Oh my God. Reanimated corpses of spiders floating through a weightless environment, ready to do whatever we need on the exterior of a space shuttle.
Dude, this is going to absolutely cause a massive increase in the number of goth astronauts that we have.
And that is always a plus.
That's a win. Listen, the more places we can get goths. Goths already like the oppressive vacuum of space. That's a cool idea for them. But you know what's keeping goths out of space, Jeff? The aesthetics. Yeah,
of course. It's all glossy white and boring.
Yeah, I mean, look, on the best of days, you might be able to get somebody that's like cyber goth, like kind of like edges on the side of like cyberpunk or something like that, or techno punk.
Sure.
You know, you might be able to get one of them to study rocket science, but I'll tell you what, putting these spiders in is really going to change everything. This is Haunted Mansion in space vibes.
It really is. It really is. There's a space capsule, there's the habitat, and now there's the lair, evidently.
Oh my God. A lair. Not just a space station, but a space lair of necro spiders. This is the future that we've been working for, and this is why NASA supported this project. They see the future even better than we do, Jeff.
Visionaries.
They're visionaries. And probably closet goths, from what I can tell.
Well, yeah.
Now, I do want to say that Daniel Preston and Faye Yap have said, listen, we want to let you know these are not reanimated spiders. Which, like,
sure,
if you say that before you're asked, you know immediately what I'm thinking. Nobody said reanimated spiders until you did. You know,
I'm just going to cut you off at the pass.
Right.
I know the next question. The first question is going to be, are these reanimated spiders? So how?
And the answer is no,
because
not yet. Now, they didn't say not yet, but I heard it. No, they're not reanimated because these spiders can't do anything of their own will or accord, right?
Sure.
This is just a needle full of water inflating and deflating a spider, and we control the water.
This is corpse puppetry. This is what this is.
This is not reanimation. It's simple and tasteful corpse puppetry. We would never get into reanimation. That is an affront.
It crosses a line.
That's an affront to God and man. It's a perversion of science. Now, corpse puppetry, as we all know, is the gentleman's science.
Here's my question. Do we got to stop at spiders? I feel like are there other creatures that could be leveraged in this way?
Now, that's a great question, and I'm not entirely sure. Animals with internal hydraulic systems. That's what we're looking at, right?
Yeah.
Other than spiders, now we do. Oh, buddy, there are biological hydraulic systems in tuna fins. We have seen them in mollusks. We have seen them in it looks like jellyfish and crustaceans. So, Jeff, now are you thinking what I'm thinking? These are remote-controlled autonomous UAVs.
Yeah, baby.
The A, I didn't need to say autonomous because that's what the A in UAV means. But, and I also didn't need to say remote-controlled. Jeff, why did I say the whole thing twice?
What started with spiders, we can franchise this shit.
Dude, here's what I'm saying. You take a tuna fish.
Sure.
Any garden variety household tuna fish. Or or jellyfish.
Yeah, anything you got lying around.
Yeah, a simple jellyfish from the home. Attach a tiny camera. A remote-controlled hydraulic system.
Yeah.
And we've got, buddy, James Cameron can fucking jump into a volcano. We don't need him anymore. with his tiny with his IMAX cameras in his tiny submersible vehicles, constantly trying to waterboard Sigourney Weaver. We don't need that shit anymore. We can build
fish. We got hydraulic fish.
Now, I would imagine that jellyfish shred so easily that they would not be. One of the things that's important is the strength of this spider, right? The fact that we can mess around with this spider and it's not going to fall apart. I don't know how biodegrading works in things like mollusks, tunas, stuff like that. But I would love to see maybe a little science kit for the kids at home. Make your own dead submersible.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
It's a delight for the whole family. Step 1, euthanize the creature.
Any way you can, but try not to damage the corpse because this is a gentleman's science. We don't want to get our cravats bloody.
That's right.
Nobody likes a bloody cravat.
No, I enjoy a red cravat.
Sure.
But not because
if
it's
it works
bloody.
with the ensemble.
Right. Certain accent piece. It's a strong statement, but sometimes I want to make one of those.
Yeah.
You know.
No, this is a gentleman's science, as I was saying. So you want a clean kill, like a gentleman.
So step 1, euthanize it cleanly.
Mm-hmm.
Step 2, needles and glue.
Yeah. Now, so here's what I picture for something like a tuna fish or a more intense control system. I would love to see some sort of like pre-made pack that we could put onto a tuna that had tubes and needles and a pump system.
Yeah.
That could, inflate and deflate the different needles. So we could take a tuna and it may be a camera module on the front. So it's all one piece that we attach to the animal and then just throw it right back into the water.
And then you swim it around. You're piloting it like a drone.
Exactly.
You got an app on your phone.
You got an app.
The app has 2 buttons, inflate and deflate.
Yeah.
And you just, you play it like, you remember the old track and field game?
Yes. Yes.
You're just tapping buttons back and forth and you're getting the thing to go faster and faster.
I love it. I think we're on the same page here. This is a great technology. I honestly, I think there's a reason why it's only working with spiders. But there's no reason that some blue sky solutioneering can't help us find more ways to use this technology. And I'm sure that's something that those horrible grinning ghouls over at Rice University are thinking of as well.
The fighting grinning ghouls. And their fight song, Here Comes Halloween, Here Comes Halloween. Yeah.
Would you be weirded out to know, perhaps in a few years, we talk about this a lot with biotechnology. Would you be weirded out to know perhaps in a few years when computers are partially powered by brains and petri dishes that we grew in a lab? Would it weird you out to know that some of your household products or some of your electronics were assembled by a spider husk? Would it creep you out? Would you buy a product that was made by a spider husk?
I don't think that inherently creeps me out.
Me neither.
I think that's kind of rad. I do think that's kind of rad. I don't know about walking into a place and seeing spider husks grab stuff and move it over and plop it down on my plate.
Sure. I'm not saying you have to be
line.
I'm not saying you have to be the foreman of the factory. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to see it every day.
Yeah.
I don't go to the slaughterhouse, Jeff. I go to KFC.
Exactly. And just a little sticker on my new GTX graphics card that says assembled by spiders.
Spiders inside.
That's pretty rad. Spiders inside.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
I love it.
This product was lovingly assembled by the corpse of a spider.
Maybe even a little picture.
Yeah.
Like when you sponsor an animal in the wild. Like, oh, here's a picture of what your panda's doing this month, and here's a picture of all the things that your spider's working on. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love these ideas, and I think they are a bit ghoulish, but they're also inevitable in a way, because if we keep pushing technology more and more, and we're using things like nanobots, we're using things like cellular robots and things like that, we're going to get to a point in human history where most technology contains tissue that either is or was alive at some point.
Yeah.
in a weird way. Like maybe not sentient, maybe not, but grown in a lab. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that like, it's going to take the first generation of people that has this in their everyday life, which could be us, it could be the next generation, I think is going to be creeped out all the fucking time. But I think it'll get normalized so quickly.
Yeah. Well, I think it goes back to how we started this story, which was that, bio inspiration, which to me is extremely cool. Like if you look at something and you go, all of our engineering prowess gets us back to how nature optimized for this.
Yes.
That's kind of rad. And then go, well, then the next step is why even synthesize it? Why make a synthetic version of this when we could just use the thing that nature already made?
Listen, maybe one day, 100 years, 200 years in the future, all of our kids are riding around on reanimated horses.
There you go.
Like creepily reanimated horses that go so fast. Like way faster than a regular horse.
Yeah. Yeah. Why can they go a lot faster?
Because we put science in them. Because we put science in them and they don't have to get tired now.
This is a pretty sick YA novel that we're coming to, though. It's
honestly,
just like a post-apocalyptic future where everything is built out of the corpse of something else.
God, it's the least wasteful and the most efficient way to live. And
yeah,
I for one can't wait until my commuter flights are just me being held by a robot condor.
Yeah. I got a new green vehicle. Oh, really? Yeah. His name was Sparky when he was alive, but
it's an electric vehicle. It's a hybrid.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. That is, I can understand why you would draw that conclusion with the Sparky name, but no. No, he was a horse. He was a horse when he was alive. Completely green, completely, doesn't affect in fact, all I have to do, to get him to go is, shoot some water into his hind legs with this needle.
The future's going to be so cool. I don't know. Y'all can let us know what you think about this. A great place to do that is on the Discord. The Discord is where all of the most concerned citizens hang out. And you can get access to it for just $1 a month over on our Patreon.
So cheap.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. And you get some extra bonus stuff along with that as well. It starts at $1 for the Discord. But oh my stars, Jeff, isn't there more?
There is. There is indeed more. You can get those tiny little conversations that we have at the beginning of the episode that you hear us just finishing up. Those are entire extra full conversations that we have. It's like an extra episode. You get those if you just give us a few more dollars a month. And we got even more stuff than that. You got to check it out. Go to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. You can find out how to support the show. We're working on our goal of 100% of the people paying for the show. So if you are part of, I don't know what percent, it can't be that big of people who aren't paying for the show. Consider it $1 a month. It seems doable.
Seems doable. And honestly, until you do, you're stealing from us. Patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.